Hi everybody, my name's Erin. I'm also known as the Gamer Vet on social media, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. If you're new to my channel, I'm a third-year veterinary student at Ross University. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm moving the camera. I'm a third-year vet student at Ross University here on the beautiful island of St. Kitts. I start my clinical year at Louisiana State in September, and I'm super excited about it. My first video that was more vet med based was going to be just on communication in general, because I feel that education and communication are probably two of the biggest things that are causing conflict between vets and clients, and also just people in the industry together. I think that those are really the two main issues, and what I think a lot of the arguments, especially on social media, stem from. I have that one, but I recently made a TikTok, if anybody's seen it, about how I think we should not make fun of clients, especially on a social media platform. And it's something that I feel very strongly about, and so I'm going to talk about it. We're all guilty. We all have a job. Clients come in regardless of what your job is. They say something, you disagree with it, or whatever your feelings on it are. You go in the back, you talk to your colleagues, your friends, and you make jokes. I can't say I've never done that, because I did. I've learned to change my way of thinking, and I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I don't slip up, but I definitely don't do it on a public forum. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will post memes or posts as like a I said, she said kind of thing, where they say what the client said, and maybe not what they said, but what they were thinking. And I think that it really sucks. I think that making someone feel stupid for something that they honestly didn't know is a really sucky thing to do. I'm trying not to swear in the first couple minutes. We'll see what happens as this goes on. I think that we all need to remember that what is common sense to us isn't always common sense to everybody else, especially in this industry. If you don't work in veterinary medicine, the majority of the knowledge that we have, people have no idea. And I think that goes even farther when it's something that seems so simple to us, right? So one example, it's a pretty common misconception that, and just before I start talking about this, please don't comment down below funny things that clients have said that you think might be like stupid or whatever. That's not what this is supposed to do, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stop that. So any negative comments or bullying will be deleted, just so everybody knows. So that's my little PSA. But there are a lot of people that are unaware that animals can procreate whether they're related or not. There are a lot of people that assume because animals are brother and sister or mother and son that they won't have babies. And it's a reasonable thing to think, because if I had a brother, I don't, but if I had a brother, I'm not gonna go have babies with him. You know what I mean? So it's a reasonable thing when you really don't know. And the issue with that is no one has taken the time to explain it to somebody. I think that there's so much misinformation and false information out there, and instead of making people feel bad about the questions that they have and the knowledge that they have, it's our job to explain why it's not true and to educate them on what is true and how to do better. And at the same time, we need to be open about learning things from our clients. There are times when somebody will probably bring something in that they may have Googled, and I know Dr. Google, everybody gets all mad because the majority of the stuff online is false. But if they find the right resource, there may be something, a treatment that another vet has tried that they found online that we've never seen or heard of. And instead of making someone feel bad about the research that they've done on their own animal, because they've been trying to help them, right? They may not have had the money to come see you right away, so they're doing everything that they can to, my camera's shaking and I'm really sorry, but this is my setup for right now, so this is what you got. But people go on Google because they have questions. I've gone on WebMD for my own stuff and my own symptoms, and you know, there are times when people that I've talked to have led me in the right direction with my own health. And that's not to say I don't trust my doctors, because I 100% trust the right doctors when I find them. but we have to build that relationship with them, and you have to acknowledge the effort that a client is putting into the care of their pet, regardless of what that is. It's really frustrating for me to see a lot of specific social media accounts that are geared toward legitimately just making fun of clients. I think that it's a really shitty thing to do. Yeah, that's just kind of the bottom line. It's a shitty thing to do. It makes you look like a shitty person. And imagine if, let's say, one of the other common misconceptions is that a dog can't get heartworm if you live in a nice area, or if the dog doesn't really go outside. And that's because somebody told them that, whether it's their friend, their mom, their neighbor, the breeder. And this is nothing against breeders. They're full of great information, and I'm all for responsible breeding for the betterment of the breed. It's not a shot at them at all, but there are things that we view differently than them. So that's why I said that, but this is not a shot at them at all. I'm all for it. But no one's explained that it's not true. And if they tried, maybe it was explained in the wrong way. And what I mean by that, which I've said that, I keep saying that. What I mean is that when we respond to something that may be frustrating for us, I think it's pretty common for most people to not respond in the most ideal way, whether it's an attitude or your facial expression or your body positioning. We have to be aware of everything about us, because the majority of us are very empathetic. That's a very useful tool in this industry. So hiding your expression sometimes is a beneficial thing, and not everybody can do that. But you want to come back to somebody's question with education. Don't invalidate their question. Don't invalidate their feelings, because they have these feelings and concerns for a reason. They have these questions for a reason. They're not asking you just to ask you a question. I say that to my boyfriend all the time. I ask him a question and he answers like I should already know the answer. But I asked for a reason. And it's the same with clients. It's the same with anybody. This goes for any industry, right? Any industry, whatever job you're in, people often make fun of their clients. And I just think it's kind of a shitty thing to do. And imagine if you were a client in any business, but for this video's sake, put yourself in the client's shoes, veterinary client. And imagine if you had a question, whatever it might be, like, why does my dog need this? How much do I feed my dog? Why is this possible? Why isn't this possible? Whatever the question is. And you see your vet or your friend who's a vet or a vet student make a post about another client, and it's making fun of them and making them feel stupid. Or they post a meme that has that same thing. I get it. Joking about our jobs is funny. Everybody does it. Not everybody does it on a public platform. I had a hard time saying that. If you saw that, would you want to go to your vet? If my friends saw me doing that, would they want to reach out to me to ask me the question? Probably not. And it would probably make me worried about asking any other question. So by doing that, we're probably prolonging the time that it would take somebody to reach out to their vet. Or you. Like, my friends reach out to me, but if they saw me talking about a client in a negative light, do you think they're going to want to reach out to me? Probably not. So I think that by doing that, we're just kind of continuing this cycle, which is a frustrating cycle. We get frustrated when people don't come in time or in our time, right? They don't come in when we think they should have, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know. Maybe they were embarrassed. Maybe they didn't have the money to treat something, and their dog was losing weight and it's been over a long period of time. They didn't really notice, and when they did, maybe they didn't have the funds to do it, and now they do, and they're coming to see you. It's the same thing with a mass. A lot of the times we do see people come in where their dog has a tumor or a non-cancerous mass, and it's gotten to the point where it's pretty big, or it's open, or it's bothering the animal at this point, and people say, oh, it just showed up overnight. To the owner, it might have, but also we have to think about, they might not have been able to afford the care or had the time to bring them in, and then all we're doing is making them feel bad about actually coming to see us. So why, when all we want is people to bring their animals to us, do we make them feel like they can't? And I think the joking is a huge part of that. I just think that we all need to be kinder to each other. And I'm sure it goes on both sides. I'm sure clients joke about their vets, and in any industry, clients joke about the employees. And I know in the age of social media, reviews are a big deal, and that's a whole different topic. That's not what this video is about, so please don't comment that down below. I know clients get online and they voice their feelings and they're very angry. That's something else that I want to talk about as well. But it's just very frustrating from someone who worked in emergency. I saw the worst situations. I saw the best situations. I dealt with very frustrated, very upset clients that may have said things that I didn't agree with or may have been nasty to me, but it's no reason for me to go in the back and joke with my friends. I understand we all need to process. Everybody needs to process. That's a natural thing. We need to talk things out. We need to process. And I understand humor can be a big part of that. That's fine. But don't do it on a public forum. Don't publicly make someone feel stupid. It's just a really shitty thing to do. And I fully view that as someone being a bully. And people might not agree with me. No, like, you might be watching this and be like, yeah, whatever. But this is how I feel, and I know it's how a lot of my colleagues feel and my fellow classmates. I think that another issue that we have, just in general, this kind of goes along with judging. And this video kind of goes hand in hand with the other one that I've recorded, but I'm posting this first, is judging someone the moment they walk in the door with their pet. And it's the same thing, because people will go in the back and talk about them. And I can't say I've never done it. I tried to change and be better, and that's all you can do. And I think I've done a pretty good job myself at changing my way of thinking and how I act and how I process these situations. People are inherently judgmental. I understand that from all aspects of my life, but we're in a profession where we have to be there for the client, not just the pet. That's something that we all need to remember. It's our job to be there for the client just as much as it's our job to be there for the pet. While the pet is our primary priority, they're attached to them, right? There's literally a leash attached to the owner, or a carrier, or whatever animal it is, a lead rope. They're part of that animal, and we can't do this without them. And by teasing or making fun, we're just increasing the divide between us. And we can't work as a team when we're all just angry at each other. Another common thing that I would see that's, for me, very frustrating. I'm sober. I've been sober for 12 years. So I understand that aspect of life a little differently than some. And one of the common things that we saw was marijuana toxicity. And a lot of people think that we're going to get them in trouble, which we're not. And people will lie and make up stories and whatever. And those are funny to joke about. I get that. You know, like, we just need to know. We're not going to get you in trouble. That's my little PSA on that. But for me, what I saw was a lot of people would come in and their dogs had eaten illicit drugs like cocaine, heroin, meth, and it may not have been theirs, but more often than not, they were the people that told us what happened. They would call us and say, my dog ate my cocaine, or my dog ate my heroin, I'm coming in right now. And they would come to us and be judged for their lifestyle and what they do. And that's really shitty too, because they came to us to get care for their pet. They're there. They're not trying to deal with it on their own because they're worried about getting in trouble. They're there to get their pet treated. People come to us regardless of how long it took. They get there. And we shouldn't shame them for that or make them feel even worse than they probably already do. We have to remember that something might be a very simple idea to us, but to the owner it might not be. And that's okay. And all we can do is try to teach them what is right. We need to have a little more compassion and empathy and stop judging. I know it's easier said than done, but sometimes you just gotta put those feelings in a box, put them on a shelf, leave them there until you're done with the client. Try to separate it, as hard as it is. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but they came to the hospital. They brought their pet to you for a reason. Regardless of how long it took, they might not know that something is an emergency. They might not realize how big of a deal something is, and to make them feel worse about that is just shitty. Bottom line, I'm swearing a lot now. It's just shitty. That's just the matter of the fact. It's shitty, and I think that we need to be better people. I don't have a ton to say about this, I guess. it's a point that needs to be made, that we need to do better, and we need to start emphasizing education to our clients. Not just telling them something once, because a lot of the times when they come in, we have so much information for them, regardless of what it is, vaccines for a routine spay or a very serious health condition. We give them so much information, and a lot of the times they may not hear what we're saying. So sending them home with resources is gonna be a big deal. It's gonna help that. Or having I'm big on protocols. My hospital had wonderful protocols for treatments that we did and everything else. And so I'm big on protocols. And I was actually thinking the other day that it would be kind of cool. Not that it would work. This is just an idea. I'm not in practice. Who knows if this would work. But to have a protocol on where to go in certain situations as far as conversation goes. You know, like they said this is where you go, this is how a client's reacting, this is what you do. Not that it's gonna work, and everybody has their own techniques. I have my own way with helping clients, dealing with them, communicating with them. I think dealing with them is a really shitty word to use, but that's the only word I know how, because I never feel like I'm dealing with someone, right? I'm helping them. And in those situations, or in some situations, people are very angry or very frustrated or sad or scared, and they're not gonna hear what we say. So they may not hear all of the discharge instructions with everything they're supposed to do with their pet. And we need to make sure that we're available to be there for them as a resource, whether they call us or we send them home with something. I know text messaging, like a hospital phone, has become kind of a big deal. And I don't think people realize that they can call emergency hospitals for advice calls, or their own hospital for an advice call. And that's a big resource that we need to remind clients that they have. And people don't know what they don't know. They could assume that they're doing everything correctly, like a client that's giving their animal tons and tons of treats and love, but the animal's overweight. They don't realize what's happening with their animal. They don't realize the effects that it's having on their animal's health, because in their eyes, they're loving them. You know, and everybody loves their animal to the best of their ability with the knowledge that they have and their life. People have been raised to think of animals in a certain way in different places. On the island here, people have been raised to think of dogs in a certain way, and it's changing, and there's so many people here that have animals in their home as pets and not just as guard dogs or kind of a companion that just hangs around, right? But that takes time to explain to people that there's another way to do things, and it's not our job to change them, because often that's not going to work. But it's our job to do our best to educate people and to try to help them understand what's going on with their pet, and just stop making people feel bad. Like, it's a simple concept, right? This is a simple concept. Don't be a bully. And I think that that's what happens with all of these stupid Instagram pages that are just full of making fun of clients. I think that having private forums on Facebook where people need to go and vent, whatever, it's still shitty. It's still shitty to make fun of people. I was made fun of as a kid. I'm sure you were. It doesn't feel nice, right? I understand the coping and the processing and everything, and that humor is a big part of that. I totally understand that, but don't be a bully. Instagram is public. Most of those pages are public. Anybody can see what you're posting, and I just think it's a really shitty thing to do. So I'm gonna end this video because it's already very long, and I've probably repeated myself because I tend to do that and I go around in circles. But I think that we all just need to do better. Vets and veterinary staff, give your clients a break. I know it can be hard to do because it can be very frustrating to see the things that we see. I know that it can be hard sometimes because things that we see can be very frustrating for us because it goes against what we know and how we feel. But people can only do their best, and we have to help them do their best. And we have to work as a team. The hospital, the clients, everybody, whatever profession you're in, you have to work as a team with your clients and offering resources and education. And if you don't have enough time in your appointment, because we're all on a time constraint, just like human MDs, we have a set amount of time that we can spend with a client. If something is happening where you need to spend more time with that client, or you have a technician that's available to spend time with that client and explain things, do that. Or ask them to come in for another appointment so you can sit down and spend time with them explaining everything. Or call them back and try to talk to them. I find it's easier to talk in person, but over the phone, can work well, especially if you're good at communicating over the phone. But let them know it's okay to come back, because they might have to go home and process the things that you say, even if it's something simple like preventatives. To us, it's simple, but to someone else, it might not be. It might not be something their family ever. Okay, so I'm recording this part on my phone because all of a sudden my camera decided it didn't have enough space. And I just deleted everything off the memory cards, and I don't know why. So someone help. But so this is where I left off. Something that's so simple to us, like vaccines, preventatives, whatever it is probably not simple to them. There are so many interactions that I had with clients where I learned that something that was so simple to me and a simple concept to me was not for them, and that's okay. And I think that we need to remember that, and remember that not everybody knows what we know, and not everybody thinks the way that we think, and all we can do is educate and try to help people. That's the best that we can do, is help people do the best that they can. So the end of this video is, please just stop being a bully. Whatever profession you're in, but this is specifically speaking to all my vet med friends, please stop being a bully and treat people with kindness and respect, and give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Clients and vets alike, we all deserve a little slack in general. Keep it in mind that you don't always know what someone's going through. You don't know about their life. You don't know if something traumatic has just happened, financial situation, if they were laid off, if they lost their house. Like we had the fires in California, right? Someone may have lost their house and not had the money to take care of their pet, and it's embarrassing for them, and they love their animal and they're doing the best that they can. And we need to remember that. And unless something is obvious abuse, right? Even some cases of neglect, people don't know they're being neglectful of their animals. There's obviously exceptions. I totally understand that. I'm not saying to not report certain things or to just brush things aside, but all I'm saying is to kind of remind yourself that everybody loves their animal to the best of their ability with their knowledge and their situation. And some situations are better than others. Some people's knowledge is more than others. And I think that we just kind of need to remember to be better people and better allies for our clients. It's our job to make sure that they know how to take care of their pet. And if they're not understanding something, it might be the way that we're communicating it to them. And if they're still not understanding after you've tried, maybe find somebody else that might be able to speak to them or communicate in a different way. If you know that you're not the best person in high stress situations or things that are filled with high emotion, or you don't know exactly how to be there for that client, I guarantee there's somebody in your hospital that's probably really good at it. There might be a technician that's incredibly empathetic, and bringing them in on a euthanasia or a difficult case, especially if they were the one to originally start the case with you and go in and check in the patient, they have a relationship with that client already. So if you know that you're not the right one to really be there for that client or to explain something, it's okay to bring somebody else with you. There's no shame in asking for help regardless of what the situation is. We need to do our job the best we can so that people can take care of their animals the best that they can. So that's it. Stop being a bully. Stop making fun of people. You wouldn't want to be made fun of for something that you do, right? I don't want to be made fun of for things that I do that to someone else might seem silly or stupid. I don't think any of these questions are stupid. That's the point. When they say like, oh, there's no stupid questions, there really isn't a stupid question, because people are asking because they don't know. So would you rather them ask the question and get the proper information from you, or never ask the question and then just continue to go on with the knowledge that they have that's incorrect? So make yourself available, make yourself open, so clients feel that they can come to you even with stupid questions. So that's the end of this video. I hope that you guys learned something, or maybe see things in a different light, because I think that we need to change and we need to be better. And I hope everybody can get on my team about this, on my side about this, and show their clients that they support them, and regardless of the situation. That's this video. I have another one that I've recorded that is also a very important topic to me. I didn't really feel like I had a voice in general because I am a student, but I was a veterinary technician. I still am a tech at heart. I always will be. I loved being a tech, and I saw things online and in person that I think could change. So if there are things that you want me to talk about on this channel, if you have things you want me to talk about, something you don't understand, or if you want to talk about a situation that you have, comment it down below. I'm happy to talk about things, right? That's what this is for, to build a community and to be there for each other and to talk to each other about things. I would love to get online on my Twitch and do a live stream to have people come on there and talk about their experiences and talk about how it made them feel when they saw things like this, because that's why I'm making this video, because I know that it doesn't feel good, and I want to know those situations so we can figure out as an industry how to change that, you know, or veterinary professionals, if you saw a friend doing a certain thing or a coworker, colleague, whatever, I want to hear about it. I want to know about it, because we have to change it, right? We have to start calling people out. When someone's just coming at you with hate and nastiness, you're not going to be receptive of that, and you're probably just going to keep doing what you're doing, because you're going to say like, oh, F them. Like, what, they don't know what they're talking about. But if you come to someone and say, hey, like, I've seen this before, have you tried that? Or whatever it may be, there's a better way to go about things regardless of the situation. So comment down below. I'd love to hear people's stories. If you want to share this, I would love that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But stay tuned for some more vet med videos. It's almost the end of my time here. I have about 2 more weeks on island, so I plan on making some more island content, as well as sharing a video about Ross, and I'm going to get really emotional. So I'm not going to talk about it right now, but stay tuned, subscribe, like. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I know this was kind of a long video. I didn't really know what to do about it and how long it should be, but I had a lot to say, like I always do. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you have suggestions, comments, things like that, put them down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.